Greetings family, peace and love to you and yours. This is Guru, thanks for visiting my channel. This video is about the police officer who shot Philando Castile, who is now being charged with manslaughter. The officer fired 7 times into the car Castile was driving with his girlfriend and her young daughter. So family, I'm going to show you this video. This person pictured here is Ramsey County Attorney John Choi. But before I get into the video, let me just speak on this before we get started. A Minnesota police officer has been charged with second-degree manslaughter for fatally shooting Philando Castile during a July traffic stop in a St. Paul suburb. Officer Geronimo Yanez of the St. Anthony Police Department faces a total of 3 felony charges, 1 charge of second-degree manslaughter, and 2 felony counts of dangerous discharge of a firearm, Ramsey County Attorney John Choi announced Wednesday morning.
I have given Officer Yanez every benefit of the doubt on his use of deadly force, but I cannot allow the death of a motorist who was lawfully carrying a firearm under these facts and circumstances to go unaccounted for. Philando Castile was not resisting or fleeing. There was absolutely no criminal intent exhibited by him throughout this encounter. He was respectful and compliant based upon the instructions and orders he was given. He volunteered in good faith that he had a firearm beyond what the law requires. He emphatically stated that he wasn't pulling it out. His movement was restricted by his own seatbelt. He was accompanied in his vehicle by a woman and a young child. Philando Castile did not exhibit any intent, nor did he have any reason to shoot Officer Yanez. In fact, his dying words were in protest that he wasn't reaching for his gun. There simply was no objective threat posed to Officer Yanez, Officer Kauser, or to anyone in that car. The mere mention or presence of a firearm alone cannot justify the use of deadly force. According to a national expert on police procedures and use of force that we retained, the totality of the circumstances indicate that Officer Yanez's use of deadly force against Philando Castile during the July 6th stop was not necessary, was objectively unreasonable, and was inconsistent with generally accepted police practices. In addition, under the same circumstances, Officer Yanez's discharge of his firearm 7 times into a vehicle in close proximity to and toward Diamond Reynolds and her 4-year-old daughter endangered their safety. Given everything I have just covered and what is contained in the criminal complaint, it is important to remember that we still must prove these allegations in court. And Officer Yanez is presumed innocent until he is found guilty beyond a reasonable doubt. I ask the public for its continued trust and patience as the court process moves forward and we strive to achieve justice for Philando Castile, his family and friends, and our broader community. Thank you very much.
So family, before I continue, I have to say I want to tip my hat off to Ramsey County Attorney John Choi. I think that's his name. John Choi here gave us no BS. He gave us full facts and he stuck to the facts. Unlike the racists and unlike lamestream media who likes to report things with their BS filtered all throughout the whole thing, Mr. Choi here gave us the facts and he stuck to the facts, and then he let it be known that that type of behavior is totally unacceptable to decent police officers who abide by the law and carry out the law respectfully. And so I give my hat, I tip my hat off to Mr. Choi here. He is an Asian American. He's a county attorney, the Ramsey County attorney. And again, this man, he hit all the points right on. I'm glad that they're going to charge that police officer. Like he said, that's just one part of it. He said, with everything said, the police officer is presumed to be innocent until proven guilty based on the facts. So that's what we have to work on at this point. So now I'll continue with the article and finish this off, so you, family, can hear exactly what it is that I learned about this myself. So continuing on, family, Choi noted that Yanez's statements to police immediately after the shooting conflicted with statements he later made to investigators with the Minnesota Bureau of Criminal Apprehension. Yanez shot Castile, 32, at point-blank range on July 6 during a traffic stop in the suburb of Falcon Heights. Castile's girlfriend, Diamond Reynolds, was in the car along with her 4-year-old daughter. Castile, who was licensed for concealed carry, notified Yanez that he had a weapon and was licensed for it. Reynolds recorded the aftermath in a graphic video she posted to Facebook Live. In the video, Castile is seen bleeding in the seat while Reynolds calmly talks to Yanez and asks why he shot Castile. Quote, "The mere mention of a firearm alone doesn't justify the use of deadly force," Choi said Wednesday. You all heard that, and that was right on point. Choi said that experts consulted by his office determined that use of force was, quote, "not necessary," and was inconsistent with generally accepted police practices, unquote. So family, a summons was issued for Yanez rather than a warrant after the officer said he will turn himself in. So family, Castile was a longtime St. Paul Public Schools employee who in recent years had worked as a lunchroom supervisor for a St. Paul Montessori school. Family, friends, and colleagues described Castile as a quiet but funny man who cherished his job. Parents from the J.J. Hill Montessori School told us in July that Castile was known to have memorized the specific food allergies of every student. Though Castile had no record of felonies, he had previously been cited by police at least 31 times while driving, raising questions about racial profiling practices in the suburban St. Anthony Police Department. Exactly. Local residents said traffic stops of black motorists along the road where Castile was pulled over are disproportionately high compared to stops of white drivers. So family, Castile's death, as you remember, fueled days of intense protests in the Twin Cities and nationwide, and came just one day after the death of Alton Sterling in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, another black man who was shot and killed by police. In a surprisingly candid remark following Castile's death, Minnesota Governor Mark Dayton said Castile's race was likely a factor in the officer's decision to shoot. Quote, would this have happened if the passengers were white? I don't think it would have, unquote, Dayton said in July. Quote, all of us in Minnesota are forced to confront that this kind of racism exists, unquote. Well, Thomas Kelly, Yanez's lawyer, has insisted the shooting had nothing to do with race and had, quote, everything to do with the presence of a gun, unquote. Well, the problem with that is that people have a right to carry guns. That's why they go get licensed for guns. And the police officer had no idea. Well, no, I take that back. He did have an idea because Philando Castile told this police officer that he was licensed to carry it. So his lawyer is full of SHIT. These people always do that kind of thing when they're trying to deflect. They try to take the focus off of the real racist actions of the police. They try to pull up all these smoke screens and these lies. And that's what's unacceptable. So we're going to stick to the facts. And the facts are Philando Castile was licensed to have that gun. He told the police officer that's why he's being charged. His lawyer needs to have a foot stuck up his ass. He needs to get that. So family, Choi explained to reporters during Wednesday's press conference that his office opted to pursue a charge of second-degree manslaughter because it was the one most likely to stick. Quote, "We can't and we don't charge people if we don't believe we can prove beyond a reasonable doubt," Choi said. A second-degree charge is defined by, quote, "culpable negligence," unquote, and an element of recklessness, he said. If convicted on the manslaughter charge, Yanez would face up to 20 years in prison. It will be a first time that Black Americans, who are the truest Americans of all, will be able to finally see justice, if that happens. But we've never, to this day, seen where a white police officer is actually charged, rightfully, based on the laws and based on the punishment of those laws. We have never seen it happen yet. So I will be really shocked if it happens this time. Philip Stinson, an associate professor of criminology at Ohio's Bowling Green State University, notes that an overwhelming majority of incidents where police kill a civilian don't result in charges. And I just said that just a minute ago. That was my own opinion, but I'm just now reading that, yes, someone else, an associate professor of criminology at Ohio's Bowling Green State University, notes the same thing, that an overwhelming majority of incidents where police kill a civilian don't result in charges. Since the beginning of 2005, nearly 80 officers have been charged with murder or manslaughter resulting from police-involved shootings, according to data Stinson has compiled. Of those officers, 27 have so far been convicted, with only one convicted of murder. A number of other cases are still pending, and the rest have ended in non-convictions, either through acquittal or dismissal. And I'll give you an example of that. Right now, they have a case that's going on against the police officer family. I was trying to think of the Sam Dubose case where they have a mistrial. And so yes, my last point that the rest have ended in non-convictions, either through acquittal or dismissal. That's exactly what we're seeing with the Sam Dubose case. They have had a mistrial with that one, and who knows which way it's going to go. But they're definitely having problems. And they always seem to have problems when it comes to charging police officers for police misconduct. Instead, they seem to reward these guys. So with that said, family, I'm going to end this off here. I just wanted to share this with you. I've noticed that some other YouTubers already have this story out, but I wanted to share my 2 cents and give you my point of view on it. So hopefully you enjoyed this video. If you do, please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I really appreciate it. Peace and love to you and yours. Please visit again. This is Guru, and thanks again for watching.